pay 3,000 for consultation. That is the least you pay. So today we are not paying. Today we are just getting it for free. So the kind of questions ma'am was saying, you can have a question that you have always desired to ask, and maybe perhaps you didn't have the resources to go to hospital. This is the place. So as the session continues, if you have a question, you can just write it down. After the session, we shall collect the questions, and then Charity will handle that, and God is going to bless you. And now let us stand up. Uh, and we are going to invite her with a round of applause. Let us clap for her as she comes. Karibu sana Charity. Yeah, thank you. Karibu sana. And we are going to have PowerPoint presentation so we can follow through the screen. God bless you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. You may have your seats. So today I'm privileged to be in Kiambu County at the Overcomers Chapel. I'm happy and I'm a Christian by profession. I'm a Christian also. And today I'm here to take you through about women reproductive health issues. And today I'm going to start from women of reproductive age up to the mwisho kabisa. I'll take you through perimenopausal, menopausal, postmenopausal, right from the root to the end. As I'm going to start, my name is Charity Wanjikol, and I highly appreciate each one and every one of you. And we are going to start the presentation. So we can go to the next slide. Reproductive health, it's a dynamic topic that cuts across everyone in the community, but to the women, it's very, very important. Women of reproductive age from the age of 18 years to the age of 60 years. Those are the women of reproductive age. That is the basic, the dynamic, the basic age that we can say that women should be taken care of in their health issues. When I define reproductive health, it's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being related to the reproductive system, not just the absence of disease. Physically, the woman should be healthy. Physically means the way we are, the main body parts in the body. Mentally, it's about our brain and psychological issues and social well-being, the community that we are staying in. Are we staying in a healthy community? Are we staying at peace with one another? Well-being related to the reproductive system. Reproductive system for the women, we know it's at the belly and at the chest here. Reproductive system for our women starts from the breast, we go to the uterus, the ovaries, down to the cervix. That's the reproductive system. And not just the absence of a disease. It doesn't mean when you're sick, maybe when you have hypertension or diabetes, you're not healthy. It doesn't mean that your reproductive system is not healthy. It encompasses the ability to have a safe and satisfying reproductive life and freedom to decide when and how often to have children. That one means what? Bearing of children is part of the reproductive system, and it's very important in our lives, in our day-to-day lives for the women that are in that age. Next slide. Family planning and contraception to assess information on range of safe and affordable, acceptable methods of regular fertility. Every woman here has, okay, most of them, according to how I assess, we've had children. And there are so many methods of family planning that we are going to discuss that are affordable in our community and that are efficient they vary according to different women. Not every woman can use the same family planning method. And we'll also discuss about prevention and treatment of sexually transmitted infections. This includes education on safe sex practices and treatment of the sexually transmitted infections. Most of you know many of these diseases like syphilis, gonorrhea, HIV, which is so rampant nowadays. Though people assume that it ended, but it's there and it's here with us. Nowadays, it's rampant. It's only that because there are medications, the symptoms are relieved. And then infertility issues, to access care for infertility and other conditions affecting the reproductive system throughout the person's life. There are fertility issues that bring infertility among women, and we are going to discuss that as well. Next slide. Quality abortion care, where legal access to safe and quality abortion care is critical part of the universal right to health. Yes, we understand that abortion is not legally accepted here in Kenya, in our country, but there are some conditions, medical conditions that a woman can have that can lead to planned abortion by the doctors. We're also going to discuss such things. Reproductive health cancers, you know them. There is cancer of the cervix, cancer of the breast, and cancer of the endometriosis, all those things. Infertility care, we are going to discuss how we are going to identify those women that are infertile. Nowadays, there is no reason why a woman should not have a baby. The system has been modernized. People can have children at any age, despite their challenges in health, safely, and the woman can continue with their life. And then comprehensive sexuality education, provide accurate and appropriate information about sexual and reproductive health to empower individuals, especially the adolescents. Many of us have preteens and teenagers in our homes that are giving us so much headaches. I'm also a mother of preteen. And what their wants are nowadays, like, their wants are demanding. And now with the social media era, I know most of us, it's a challenge in our homes, me included, because I have a preteen. Yeah, next slide. And then maternal and perinatal health care, that is make sure there is safe delivery for the mothers who are giving birth via normal, and those women that are going for cesarean sections, how to care about them, their health, their breastfeeding, what they're supposed to feed on when they are breastfeeding, that is supposed to give her more energy and to keep her healthy. And also, we are addressing the gender-based violence, a very important topic that goes untouched. Most of the women are undergoing gender-based violence. It should be, it's not a must that it's physical. By the way, do you know psychological torture is the worst kind of violence in a home? Like the everyday thing that let's say, for example, you're married, the one that you're staying with or your spouse has that negative comments every day, it takes a toll in your psychological well-being. And it's the worst than being physically abused. Physically abused means what? Being beaten. It's worse because that psychological torture leaves a mark in your brain. And then you start doubting yourself. You start asking yourself, am I not a woman enough? Why is it that he should be treating me this way? That one takes a toll in the psychology of a woman, not from the newly married to the aged. And unfortunately, that's why you see there are so many separations nowadays. I had a talk with another lawyer in the last like 2 months, and he told me between January and June, he has had like 50 divorce cases. Because women now, there is a certain age, like that one of my mom, they could tolerate everything. But now, women are empowered and they know their rights. They are not adhering to that. But in the Bible says we should we should maintain our marriages. We should try and try and try to maintain them. Those are some of the things that we are going to talk about. So, why is reproductive health important to the women of reproductive age? The overall well being of a woman is based on reproductive health and the quality of life. When your reproductive health is important, it boosts the quality of life, it increases the number of years that you live. And all this can be possible if we take care of our health as women. And the human rights, that is about the rights that you're supposed to know about our health, about the society, and what we should adhere to. And then this is the same that, like I've repeated, and maternal health. Maternal health is women who have just given birth. There should be, in Kenya, there should be no mother who has given birth who is supposed to die. And once a mother passes on when giving birth in an institution of few hours, it is a very major offense. It should never happen. That's why the government is so much has paid a lot of key on mortality and morbidity rates in maternal women. Next. So today we are going to start. I told you we'll cover everything. We'll cover from a breastfeeding woman to the very last stage of life. Today we are starting with a breastfeeding mother. A breastfeeding mother is a mother who has given birth and who is breastfeeding the child for the first life of a child for 2 years. That's the ideal breastfeeding time. So, the breastfeeding is the process by which infants receive nourishment direct from the mother's breast. So that this child can be healthy and the mother can be healthy, the mother should focus on the things that should be able to make her have that health to be able to give the child the best. Breastfeeding to the baby, it provides nutritional benefits to the baby. That is carbohydrates. That milk is self-contained. That milk that the mother produces, it contains carbohydrates, proteins, important oils, vitamins, and also for hydration purposes. It provides immunity to the baby. But there are so many statistics that children who have not been breastfed by their mother for the first 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding, the immunity of those children is usually low. And also, the brain, the cognitive thinking of the child since birth up to the later years is highly affected by the breast milk that is the mother is giving him or her. And then the strong immunity, the child will not keep on having those common diseases in the community like homa, diarrheal diseases. But the breast milk is a very good medication for diarrheal diseases for a mother who is breastfeeding exclusively. Issues to do with the skin, eczema, You see, when a small baby has eczema, it is usually advised that should breastfeed that child exclusively. And that eczema with time, it will go away. Don't have to buy those oils. You're being told you can buy those medications. It's just breastfeeding. And then we go to the nutrition of a breastfeeding woman. For a breastfeeding woman, the nutrition, next please, we should have increased caloric intake. Caloric intake is carbohydrates. A breastfeeding woman should have food that has a lot of calories. These are carbohydrates. And these are the complex foods like whole grains, that is githeri, beans. Nowadays we are doing yellow beans, dengu, kamande, those whole grains, the nuts, the groundnuts, for example, they are very important and they are very nutritious. And then complex foods like ndoma, ngwashe, and cassava, they are very important. This food will give energy to the upcoming baby and then to the mother. You know, sometimes when we breastfeed, you feel drained. You don't have the energy, you feel weak. So when you feed on this food, they'll give you the energy. And also, they'll give you also the energy to continue taking care of that kid. Because the moment we don't have energy, will you be able to take care of the children? You'll keep on complaining, oh, I'm feeling weak, I just want to sleep. But you see, you're supposed to keep on feeding those food that have a lot of carbohydrates. Then high quality proteins. High quality proteins, you know, eggs are miraculous food. Mayai. Even for a baby, if you can't even afford meat, don't have to stress yourself, especially for the children. Eggs are very, very important for the nutrition, not only for the children, but also for us adults. And there is no limitation for the number of eggs that you can be able to take on a week. Some people say that eggs have high cholesterol, but it's not true. Eggs are very nutritious. Fish for the brain work. It helps in cognitive thinking, both to the mother and to the upcoming baby. That's why, have you ever realized those people that come from Western, they're so brilliant? Yes, because of the fish. They are brilliant in skilled and unskilled jobs. Even when you give them these jobs like Zamjengo, they're the best. Even they are very efficient in their work because the cognitive brain was introduced a very long time ago. Then healthy fats like avocado, it's very important, and fish oils. Some prefer omega-3. And there is this other one, Scott's emulsion. It's very important for the children who are growing up to around 5 years. And also the calcium. Now, calcium here, it's very tricky because a woman who is breastfeeding, right from the time that you're pregnant up to the time that you've given birth, up to the time that you're breastfeeding, that child has been draining out your calcium levels. So that's why during pregnancy, you're advised to take the calcium tablets. During pregnancy, the teeth, the bones. You know, when you're pregnant, there is a hormone that is called relaxing hormone that is usually produced in the body. So that hormone relaxes everything. It relaxes the bones. There is this bone that is here, kwa mgongo. That bone is relaxed so that it can pave way for the upcoming child. So that's why even when you're pregnant, even when you're moving in the later days before you give birth, you're not able to move. You move with your legs apart. Who has experienced that? Hey, because now the calcium has been reduced in your body, and so much, many of us don't know that. these calcium tablets, they're supposed to be taken from the time that you're planning to get pregnant. Because that calcium is being used by this baby to make bones. Your bones need the calcium to be strong. And as well, when the baby is breastfeeding, is taking that calcium as well. So every time that you taking a meal, look for a meal that has calcium. These meals are milk, yogurt, green leafy vegetables. Those kienyeji, wanasema kienyeji, we need kienyeji and spinach and sukuma wiki. They are very, very important in our body not only for a breastfeeding woman, for a woman at whole. Because when we go to the menopause, this is the same thing that is making our knees. When you wake up, you say, hey, magoti. That's the reason why. Yeah, because the calcium has been depleted in our bodies. That one will tackle it when you get there. And then the iron levels, these the ones that boost our blood. And when the baby's health is equally very important on the level of the blood. I don't want to call it sijui nitasema nini, the red coloring of the blood, the red color is the iron. And that red color is very important because hiyo ndio it carries the oxygen in our bodies, the red coloring matter. So that's why you see when the oxygen levels are low, the child gets fatigue, anachoka haraka, hachezi sana. So it's very, very necessary. You also feed the children with liver. There are some children who don't like the liver. You can feed them with those dark green leafy vegetables. That is spinach, sukuma wiki. Everything revolves around that. And also, when the child is beyond 1 year, you can invest on something like Scott's emulsion. It has iron. And also, when you're going for the checkups, it's good you tell the doctor to check for your baby if the iron levels are okay. The doctor doesn't have to use a needle and a syringe to draw blood kuona whether the iron levels are okay. Jicho tu, if you do like this, it will tell you whether the baby is okay or the baby needs more iron. Then vitamin A, C, D, and B complex. These are basically the fruits. Fruits are very important in the body. It prevents diseases, so many diseases, not only for the children, not only for the women, this one is for everyone. Even the preteens, the between 5 and 10 years, fruits are very important. Make sure that this is how I deal with it. The fruits that are in season, they are affordable. That's what I do. Like this time, it's mangoes that are coming. They are cheap. Let the children eat those mangoes. If it was oranges, oranges are very, very, very rich in vitamin C. You see, those eras when there was COVID, oranges did wonders because of the vitamin C. It's very important. And then another thing that can boost the immunity of the children at home, these children that are going to school, the small children, to go out of topic kidogo, you see the vitamin C. If you're not able to get the oranges, the mangoes, when you see a fruit has that yellow coloring matter, that is vitamin C. But also, there is this other tablet called vitamin C chewable. It's 5 bob. If you know a chemist called Transchem, it's 5 bob. You can be buying, then you give your children alternate days, not even your children, also yourself. You'll never hear those homers. Not unless now they go to school, they get infections from other children. But when you're at home, like now this holiday, you buy, they just give them alternate days because we can't afford for every day with this economy. Alternate days, it will work wonders. It will boost the immunity. And then the sunlight is very important, 9 to 10 in the morning and even in the evening. sunlight is important even to the us as women of reproductive age, because it is a way of getting calcium. Most of us are suffering bones that are breaking because we work in enclosed places. We never get to see the sun. In the morning, you are in the office, you leave the office at 5, you go home. In 1 week, you've not seen the sun. And you see, to supplement that sun with vitamin D tablets, it's very, very expensive. So when you are off duty or when you are not going to work, go to the sun between 9 and 10 in the morning, and then the sunset in the evening, you get some vitamin D. It's very important. It prevents that tendency of the bones breaking, especially as we are growing old. And then for the children as well, please encourage them to go to the sunlight. Then hydration is very important. You know, the breastfeeding woman, every time the child breastfeed, she or he is depleting a lot of water in your body, because milk is basically liquid. And then to replace that liquid, you must take a lot of water. Now, there is this myth that when you're breastfeeding, you're supposed to take lots of soup, porridge. I did that. And by the time I was going back to work, I was a round person. Because I'm not feeding for the child, I'm feeding for myself. You take lots of uji. You order uji from Meru. That's uji. You keep it there. Then the soup, the oxtail. So it should be in moderation. Water alone is enough. You don't have to buy all those things, all those expensive things, because your health also matters. So why do you want to feed the baby at the expense that you'll gain a lot of weight that will bring more problems, health problems in your body? Some do chocolate is enough. Water, I advocate for water since I had that experience. Because by that I was going for maternity leave, I was 60. By the time I was going back to work, I was 90 kilos. Yeah, because sasa oxtail ni yangu. That creamy thing, you blend, you put some lemon, you take, you're giving it to your breastfeeding. Oh, and to you, water is enough. Hmm? Okay, next slide, please. So, yes. Okay, now there is a literature about the porridge, and it depends with the mothers. So, for a woman who has had a cesarean section, for the first like 1 month, she should not take the sour porridge, because the sour porridge, it's bacterias, ndizo zimeferment. So it's not advisable until she's healed. Because during cesarean, we touch the intestines and we maneuver the intestines. So we give the intestines time to relocate their way back to the abdomen, and for the movement of, I don't know how I can say it, movement or a lineage of movement. Because you've already confused the intestines when you are removing the baby. Yeah, I can say confused the intestines. So we give them time to heal. And during pregnancy, everything has been displaced. The uterus is here, ahead. The intestines are behind. Something like liver, they've been displaced more further and more further. So that immediately abrupt removal of the baby, also the intestines are in shock. What has happened? What has just happened? So that's why women who go for cesarean, the first 2 days, they have constipation because the alignment of the intestines has not taken place. But when it has taken place, you're able to feed everything. That's why they are being told to feed on liquid diet first, then sips of water first, few hours, then liquid diet, then that digested, that blended food, puree diet, then the normal diet. Yeah. But for a mother who has given birth naturally, you're good to go. You're good to go. You don't have to wait. So after the mother has breastfed for 6 weeks, the next thing that happens, she thinks about the family planning. Because if you don't have a family planning in 6 weeks postpartum, even 4 weeks, some can conceive within 4 weeks postpartum. Postpartum means after birth, sorry. So it's very wise to know the kind of family planning that you're supposed to have first as a breastfeeding woman, and then as a woman who don't want to have children and you've never given birth to children, and then as a woman who has given birth and you don't want to give birth in the recent few years, and a woman who has reached the right number of children and do not want to ever give birth again, permanent. There are different methods of contraception, but let me first address the contraception method, family planning method, or rather, for a woman who has just given birth. So 6 weeks after birth, you're supposed to visit the health facility. And for a woman who is breastfeeding, you should choose a method that has one progesterone, one hormone. The two main hormones in the body of a woman is progesterone and estrogen. Estrogen plays a major part in the body of a woman. So for a woman who is breastfeeding, she should take the progesterone type of family planning only. And why progesterone and not estrogen? Because estrogen levels reduces the production of milk, but progesterone levels boost the production of milk. So this method of family planning for a woman who has given birth, it could be either tablets. These are 35 days that are usually given by the government, or even you can get them over the counter from the pharmacies, or the injection. I don't know how you call it nowadays. The injection for the 3 months. Depo. Oh, haijabadilika. Yeah, still called Depo, as we used to call it Depo-Provera in school, but it's still the ideal. Then I'm through with the now breastfeeding woman. Now I come for the family planning methods for the other people. So there are two types of family planning methods for women of reproductive age. There is long-acting, reversible family planning method. The long-lasting, they are the implants, the implanons. Implanons are usually put on the upper part of the deltoid muscle. It can be one rod or two rods. It goes for 3 to 5 years, depending on the preference of the woman, and that has progesterone only. And there is this other one, intrauterine devices. Nowadays, technology has taken up, like intrauterine devices. We have the Kopati, ile ya kitambo, and that one goes for 3 to 5 years. And also we have they've updated the intrauterine devices. There some have hormones. If you're reacting to Kopati, some of the reactions to Kopati is like, I have had 3 mothers who have had pregnancy with the Kopati. It's usually implanted on the placenta. I've had a woman of 50 years has conceived with a Kopati. And also it causes clamping, but it depends with women. We are different. It depends with the women. It can cause cramping, it can cause heavy bleeding. But you see, this other method that has come, the intrauterine devices, they are called, can't remember very well the name. It has both hormones, estrogen and progesterone. And I've witnessed so many women are using it nowadays. I think it's more friendlier than copper T. Then we have the short acting reversible contraceptions. We have oral contraceptives. These ones, for example, the Femi plans that usually run for 28 days. They usually have the estrogen and progesterone levels. There is the patch that is on the skin. Like you just take it on the skin, it releases hormones slowly. We have the injectables, we've talked about them, the depot that goes for 3 months. But now, most of the women that use depot and you want to conceive, it may take some time for you to conceive, but again, it depends with the women. Then we have these other barrier methods, the vaginal rings, the condoms, and all those other things. And there is one contraindication for women who have health life conditions like hypertension and hypertension sana sana. They're not advised to use the estrogen estrogen contraceptives, and also the women who have the tendency to add weight. They are contraindicated to use the progesterone. So that's why you'll find that some women will put on the Implanon and then they start adding weight. They say, I think ni hii dawa. You can always remove and you choose another method that is friendly to you. Yeah. Next slide. Before that one, please. So now we are in the reproductive age. We've given birth. We've chosen the method of family planning. We've acquired the right size. But then I forgot there is that other permanent method of family planning that is not usually discussed so much. Let's say I've acquired the right size of children in my family and I don't want ever to get children again. We can do the tubal ligation. Tubal ligation is whereby we access the uterus, the fallopian tubes, and the ovaries, and then we ligate. Ligate ni kufunga na uzi, or rather, we burn the fallopian tube, and then there you can never give birth again. So studies have said that this method, if anything happens, it can be reversible. But there is a time we tried to reverse and it couldn't work for a woman who had changed her mind. So when you're choosing this method of family planning, you should be certain that you don't require another baby in your lifetime. So my advice would be, it's not an emergency that you should do this thing immediately you give birth to your last born. You can always wait. You can always wait and come back later. In fact, coming back later, I find it more revealing than right now. Because the moment you do the ligation, when the baby is 1 day old, you never know. I'm not being pessimistic or negative. You never know what life can happen and you need another baby. Why don't you give time for that baby to become bigger? At least then you make the rational decision. That method, I have not had any side effects about it. It's only that sometimes women now come wanting it to be reversed. And that's why I advocate for that method later in the years. It's because by that time the uterus has healed and it's easy to assess. And then with the technology nowadays, they won't use that same CIS section if you're done cesarean, they won't use the same scar. Technology has come where we are just putting holes, a hole like a needle. Then we access, we cut, and we. So at the end of the day, we won't be having a wound at unaponya. Yeah, and it's very efficient and affordable. So after that, we've chosen the method of family planning. Now we've come to the mid ages, the late 30s, mid 30s. We are preparing ourselves for menopause. But do you know, menopause is even starting as early as 35? Yeah, these days menopause is starting early. Just the way your preteen girl is starting her menses early. Kitambo, we could start our menses when you're going to Form 1, Class 7. But nowadays, Class 5, Class 4, you start now getting confused. What am I going to tell my daughter? Class 4 ni mdogo. Huh? That's what's happening. So even menopause is starting very early, and it's a transition. Premenopausal is premenopause. It's perimenopausal, meaning premenopause period among the women. It is the transition phase leading to menopause when the ovaries gradually decrease hormone production, especially the estrogen. Estrogen is the main hormone. When it is reducing, it's the one causing menopause. And estrogen is usually produced by the ovaries. That's why even when we are removing uteruses for the women in theater, we leave the ovaries. They are very important for the hormonal production. This is marked by regular periods and hormonal fluctuations, causing hot flashes. Hot flashes, sikia tu joto, wengine wanasikia baridi, wewe unasikia joto tu, una sweat. Night sweats. Hmm? Then mood changes. Mood changes. You have labile moods. Now you're happy, tomorrow you're not happy. You're excited, you're not you the next minute you're sad, and there is no reason why you are sad. It happens. And then sleep disturbances. Leo sijalala. Sijui ni nini mbaya. Huh? But that one is preparing you for the menopause. It begins at the ages of 40 according to the books and ends 12 months after the final menstrual period. This means, let's say I'm 40 years. I've clocked 40, let's say for example, and in the next 12 months, I won't get menses. My menses have been regular, so for 1 year, sijapata menses. Already sasa niko menopause. You just tell yourself, yeah, that's how it's happening. Yeah, it's beginning at the age of 40 according to the literature. But according to the experience in the communities and the ground, at 35, you can start your menopause. Yes. That's why we have been asked or requested, women of reproductive age, you don't have to have one baby today, then the next baby you have 5 years to come. Mm-mm. You just give birth. The ideal period is between 2 years. By the time the firstborn is getting 3 years, you're having another one on the way. That is ideal. Next slide. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Okay. So for a woman who is graduating to menopause, it's our duty, because me, I'm also included there, to prepare ourselves for the menopause. So during this time, how do you prepare yourself? Food is everything, but not food, it's quality food. This is the time that you check on your portions. You check on a balanced diet. You just don't eat. Now, first of all, you have to feed on calcium-rich foods. Why? Calcium-rich food, they makes the bone strong. And that's why you find most of the women, they break their ankles, most of them around this age. And then the hands, they break because the calcium levels are low. The calcium levels are being made low by the estrogen levels. Kumbuka estrogen kwa ovaries imeanza kureduce. So the calcium levels inaenda chini. So your bones are weak. So that's why they tend to break. So it's a responsibility as women of this age to eat food that are rich in calcium. The green leafy vegetables, the fish, you look for sunlight. It's not sunlight to look for you, you look for sunlight. Other women, they prefer to, most of the women are buying those vitamin D calcium tablets that are on the chemist so that they can boost their calcium levels. And that calcium levels, it's the same point number 2, vitamin D sources improves the calcium absorption and bone strength. Then fiber diets. Fiber diets, it's very important. They help in weight control. You know, around this time, women tend to gain weight around the trunk. Around the trunk, they get a lot of weight gain. That's why you're supposed to control your weight. You feed, there is that portion plate that you usually have. Less carbohydrates, more proteins, and many vegetables. I think that portion plate is the one that we should be dealing with right now. And then blood sugar stability. During this time is the time that we usually, as women, we get hypertension, diabetes. You know, our bodies are aging as well. So the production of those sugars, our insulin levels are being produced at a very high rate. And the body is not able to control them. So at the end of the day, we get diabetes because the sugars have accumulated in our body. And then as tunakula nini? Chai, 2 spoons of sugar, juices, processed food, chips. We want all those sugary things that we want. We want a good life. We want ice creams. We want porridge with lots of sugar. So this is the time that that's why you see, like in our setting where I work, where we are seated, that dining room where we serve our tea. As women are not taking tea with sugar, it's only men who've been left to take tea with sugar, the young men. Kila mtu anasema niweke ndufia. Because now everyone wants to control the blood sugar stability. And then the cholesterol reduction. That, you go to the butchery, you want that meat. Niongeze tu mafuta. Huh? And you know cholesterol, it's fat. It accumulates on the blood vessels. You see, a blood vessel is like a vessel like this. So fat starts accumulating here on top and here down or around it. So when it accumulates, how will be the blood circulation to the body? To be slow, and it will not be efficient. So at the end of the day, what happens? Hypertension, heart diseases, because the circulation of the blood in the body is impeded. It's not efficient. That's why we are supposed to take healthy oils. Healthy oils are like fish, and there is this omega-3 tablets. They have healthy fats. And then at this age also, we tend to forget. Brain, we tend to forget. Nilikuwa nataka kufanya nini? You go to the supermarket, unasahau, nilisahau sukari, nilikuwa nichukue. Dude, we forget a lot. We forget. Like after you had a meeting, you forget that you're supposed to go for a meeting. You forget the basic things. Like those things that you never used to forget when you are young. So to boost the brain system and the cognitive thinking of the brain, it's healthy to take that omega-3. You can you can eat fish regularly, and it's called what? The small catfish. Oh, yeah, that one, omena. That small fish is very, very nutritious. Very nutritious, even to the children. It will boost your brain. Hmm? And also, and then to take food containing estrogen. Kumbuka, estrogen has reduced in our bodies. We need to boost it. So to boost it, ni legumes, mbosho, dengu, those ones they boost, minji. You take those ones, they tend to balance your hormone, your estrogen hormone. So say you won't be having mood. Okay, noted. So you won't be having those mood disorders because now your hormones are balanced. You know, the moment in a woman you boost the estrogen hormones in her body, she will ever remain happy. She will be that flower, like the way you look today, because the hormones are balanced. So you take those njahe, those legumes, they are called legumes, and they help in balancing the estrogen hormone in the body. Then healthy fats like avocado, just like I've said, to boost brain health and help to manage hot flashes. It helps. The avocados, the nuts, the fish oils, all those things. And then hydration. Hydration is very, very important for a woman. Among all other things, if you don't do this, I just don't know. Number one, our skin. You know, when you are entering into menopause, our skin thinnens. Hmm? Our skin thinnens. Then the hair thinnens and it becomes weak. So it's very important to take hydration, to be hydrated. Hydrated, water is enough. Take a glass of water, take 2 to 3 liters of water in a day. That is equivalent to 8 to 12 glasses of water in a day. If you're working, whether you're working anywhere, there is no excuse that you can't get water. Tap water, you can't get. Tuache lemon, tuache all those complications. Let's deal with plain water. Yes, like, okay, for example, what I do when I report to work, I have a kabotru. A kabotru, you just take like water. At around, you do a case. After 2 hours, you go back, you take water. Every 2 hours. By the end of the day, you'll have achieved your 8 to 12 glasses of water. Water helps to hydrate the skin. It makes the skin not become dry. You remember when the estrogen hormone is going down, the skin tends to become dry. Become dry. We start getting interest. You're getting recons mapema. It also improves the muscle tone. Hmm? Eh. So instead of going to those consultants wa kuvuta skin hivi na hivi, you just take water. It improves the muscle tone. It makes you glow. It also improves the digestion system. You never get constipated. You don't have abdominal issues. Water is a magic in itself. And then there are foods to limit during this time. Reduce caffeine. Watu wa Java, coffee. I just need a cappuccino. I need coffee right now. You send your child niende Nescafe. Huh? Those things are contraindicated. And then the caffeine, watu wa chai. Naumwa na kichwa, nimetoka kazi naumwa na kichwa, just need some tea. It is contraindicated. It is not, yeah? It's not that you're supposed to cancel it or never use it, but to use it in moderation. Yeah? Not every time when you're coming out of work, you need tea. Every 2 hours, you go back to the thermos. But by the way, do you know that tea also makes someone gain weight? Mm. And also now your brain can't work without it. You become like addicted to it. So you don't have a difference between someone who is addicted to a substance and the way you're addicted to tea or coffee. Yeah. And then you stop alcohol intake. I know we are in a Christian background, so that one is obvious. Sugary foods, we've talked about it. Sugary foods, it comes in hand with processed food. Pizzas, burgers. When you're taking your children for lunch, you buy them. Children it's okay, they can feed because after all, they're so active. So that food will be replenished in the body in a short while. What about you? You take, and your work is sitting in an office. So the fat accumulates. And reduce highly processed food, that is what I'm talking about. Pizza, chips. But I think at this age, women, we should be focused on eating complex carbohydrates. Yeah, complex carbohydrates are like arrowroots that have fibers, that have health benefit in your body. The sweet potatoes, the cassavas, the boiled maize. Boiled maize is very nice with breakfast. And then to manage all these things, because at this age will add a lot of weight. We are supposed, our last meal. Hmm. So okay, but at the end of the day, we can't stop our habits by today. It's called tapering. Like, if you're used to taking one full thermos of tea today, tomorrow you can take 3/4, the other day you can take half. Tapering, the other day you can take a quarter. That's how it is. Because human beings, at this age, let me tell you, by the way, when we get to 35 years, we can't change. Men and women don't change. Hata akikwambia ati nitabadilisha. If they never changed before 35 years, that's a psychologist who told me, we don't change. So it's your responsibility. You know what you want in life and your objective. So if your objective is to reduce the intake of caffeine, you taper it. It can be at immediately to at kesho sasa kunywi chai. No. You just, if you full thermos, 3/4, half, quarter. So at the end of the day, you'll have gotten over it. That's the same case with sugar. Sugar, for someone who puts 3 spoons today, tomorrow try to put 2.5. The other day, 2. The other day, 1.5. The other day, 1. The other day, a half. The other day, you'll take a quarter. That's how I did about it. The other day, you need a quarter. The other day, you'll do without sugar. Yeah. And then you should be patient about yourself. You shouldn't push yourself so hard about these things in life. Yes, ma'am. Yes? Mm-hmm. Put in a little. Sometimes people say you can supplement sugar with honey. The level of calories that are in sugar, they're not the same in honey. Honey is mild. So, and if if it comes to a push and pull, where like maybe you're working aggressively and you're feeling you're feeling weak, like you can faint, a little sugar won't do any damage if you've not been taking. Shida ni ile like every sitting you're taking 2 sugars ama 3 spoons of sugar. Kuna watu wanasema chai ni sukari at this time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Okay, I understand that question. So what happens is like this. These things usually happens to a lot of people who use sugar and the body has replenished the sugar. And sugar is glucose. It's only that this sugar this sugar that we use in our tea is already processed. So it's pure glucose. But when you take something like sugarcane, that is that has another name. It has to be processed in the body to sugar, to pure sugar, and it's okay. And that's why even for a patient who has diabetes or a client who has diabetes and they are feeling hypo, they're always advised to have a sweet in their bag. Because the moment you take that sweet, it boosts the sugars immediately. Even people who are not taking sugar, sometimes they feel their blood, they feel weak and they are low and they crave for that sugar. But now the quantity matters. Quantity is all that is the mess. Yeah. I can continue. Next slide, please. So we are through with the women who are approaching menopause. Now we are in the women who are in the menopausal period. All women whom, after we are in premenopause, we are entering into menopause. Yeah, this is the point at which when a woman has gone 12 consecutive months without menstrual period, and it usually, according to the books, it happens around 40 to 55 years, as I said. But according to the ground, or in the background research that has been done by researchers, it can start as early as 35. So I want to make you aware of some of the changes that happens during menopause. And these changes that happen, some can be lifetime, some can be controlled, and some can be reversible, as in according to the substitutes that you'll be given. So we talked about weight gain around the abdomen ni tumbo, around the stomach. There is a lot of weight that most of the women, even if hata ungeangalia our shows in those years, they had a very big around the abdomen. Nowadays, women wamejijua. So they don't very few get, but when you go to the village, you'll find quite a number. And this one is usually fat accumulation due to the low levels of estrogen that are going down with the approaching with the menopause. Thinning of hair and dry skin, I've talked about it. That's why we are encouraged to take lots and lots of water. Let me take a glass of. Thank you. Thinning of hair and dry skin, that's why we are encouraged to take 2 to 3 liters of water. There are some women who are not able to take plain water. Yeah. That's why maybe you can supplement with something like lemon. Lemon, it's a very healthy fruit. It burns the fat, the lemon. It helps in digestion. Lemon, it's very nice even when you're cooking in your meals. Lemon is important. Memory or concentration issues. Yeah, you can't concentrate for long. Mhm. Let me tell you a secret. There is a game changer in using warm water. You know, warm water also reduces your weight. You maintain your body. Warm water. If your goal is to stay hydrated and to maintain your body, to burn the fats, pole pole without haraka, warm water is everything. Just try it for like 2 months. Every day. Every time you're taking, take warm water. Warm water. Some don't like it, but it's very, very nice. So if that's your goal, it can help you in both. And also you can if you're not able to, also I also see some people add a tinge of salt to the water. A tinge of salt is nice. Like in the morning, you can put a tinge of salt. Tinge ni hivi. A, a tinge. Yeah, of salt in warm water. Do you know you don't that one, it makes your abdomen full. You don't have to keep on craving for mandazi, samosa during tea break at 10. You can work up to 12 without anything. Yeah. Mhm. For me, I just use common salt. Because you know, not everyone will afford that salt. So common can salt. Me just use can salt. You put a tint in the morning when you get to work, ama when you're doing your errands in warm water. You won't require anything at 10. You'll be looking for those chapati and mandazi. Then you'll just wait for 12 midday or 1 p.m. That's when you eat your meal and to maintain your body. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, the book says when you wake up, it should not, it can be lemon water or any type of water. You take a glass of water in the morning, immediately you wake up. So, you know, that one will act like a substitute for the breakfast that your abdomen has been waiting for. So, at the end of the day, you won't eat much. So, when it comes to breakfast, you'll just eat kidogo and you're full. All these things, they are ways of weight reduction. Because you know, our weight is purely food, nothing else. Food, the food that we eat on a daily basis. Especially now that the children are closed school. Even me, I've added weight. Because yes. Mhm. Yeah, it can happen, but 80% is food. 80% is food that we take. Yeah. And more so, the choice of food. If you eat these cakes, like now the children are close school, mandazi, breads are not, they are always in the house, cakes. And then every time they are being fed, hata wewe uko hapo kwa line, won't you gain weight? And you know them, they are eating, then the whole afternoon they are playing. What about you? You're taking a nap in the afternoon. I'm so tired. Tomorrow I'm working. So I need to rest. So when you're resting, the food is being digested and being put in your fat accumulation areas. Because everyone has fat accumulation areas in his or her body. Yes, I was coming to that. Now, our last meal, when you're taking dinner, it's usually advised like this actually. When you wake up in the morning, you're not supposed to take anything. up to around lunch hour, around 12. Then 12 you take your 10. Okay, I'll check it on my phone. At 10 you take your breakfast. At 12 you take your lunch. Then at 4 should be your last meal. If not that, 6 p.m. should be your last meal. Then the feeding time will be tomorrow at 10. But the moment you eat food at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., that food is not being used for any purpose apart from making you bigger. And then number two, you tend like when you eat immediately and you sleep, that's why you find you're getting some gastric reflux because that food has not been digested. Umekula, umeenda kwa kitanda. And then this other thing, as women, we take tea after supper. Tea, lazima. Even my mom used to take it. Huh? Chai ya jioni lazima. Mhm. So living healthy is it's a whole responsibility of a human being. And you see those things, if you are used to them, like many are used to them, it's easy on them. But when you are not used to them, it's difficult. But we just need to practice pole pole. There is no pressure. Yeah, the moment now you give yourself pressure ndio shida inakuja. Yeah. Intermittent fasting, that's what they do. That's basically it. Yeah, and then they have that portion plate. Ugali hata hii ngumi yangu ni kubwa. Na mchele kidogo, but proteins and veggies. But you know, even in real life, proteins, they do the work of the carbohydrates. They give energy, they give calories, they help in building the muscles, worn out tissues kama uko na kidonda. And then the veggies are there to prevent you from diseases and boost your immunity. So why do we usually want to take rice and ugali? And the same thing is being met in beans and meat. So that's the real thing. Yes, ma'am. Yes. No. No, 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 no. That one, you are overworking your body because that one, your body will go into what do I call now? I don't know how I can call it in a layman language. It will go into acidosis because your body will use the food that you've taken, then it starts going to the stores, where it has stored the fats. So that fat being converted into energy, it's reducing fatty acids. So that is not advisable. I don't know how I can elaborate it in a layman, but it's not advisable like you take 1 meal in a day. Oh, she's asking, there is this said like you're supposed to feed in the morning, the breakfast, you take a whole meal, then from there I won't feed again the whole day. So that is not, I'm explaining it's not advisable because at the end of the day, you know, within 2 to 3 food has been replenished in the body and you're working. So the next time, what will the body be using? It will go back to the fats. It will bring the fats are broken down, it produces, it will produce energy and then it will release some acids, which are not that are not healthy in the body. So it's not advisable. That's why we are told at night when you're not active, your body can be able to use the food that you ate at 6 p.m. up to morning. But when you're active during the day, that's why you advise you take a meal at 10, at 12. You can take a snack at 3 p.m., a snack, and then at 6 you take your dinner and you're good to go. Maybe you can take a fruit and not a fruit that has lots of sugar. You know, you can say you want to take a fruit, you unaenda unachonga a whole pineapple. I'm an apple. The red apple, not the green one. The green one doesn't have sugars. The red one, so it's not advisable. Yeah. So we talked about mood swings and irritability and anxiety. That one we said it will be taken care by the legumes. You take regular mbosho, jahe, dengu, so that they can boost your estrogen levels. You don't have to suffer those mood swings. You know, let me tell you, I don't like mood swings. And they are not healthy in the community, especially when you're working in a community. Let's say in a place that there are many people that are taking care of you, or you're taking care of them, or you need to work as a team. Mood swings are the worst things and I usually avoid them, because if I want to communicate to you, you know, is everything in life, and the way you communicate, it's very, very important. I think you should call me to teach you about communication skills. It's very important. So when you have mood swings, it hinders the way of communication from one another. So people are wondering, Sasa, if I talk to her, will she respond? What will she tell me? And you know, nowadays people have so many stressors in life. Hmm? People have so many stresses in life. You don't want negativity and pessimistic every time. That, you know, there are those people who are ever talking rudely, they are negative. So mood swings takes a toll, on communication. And as women, we are the most affected. We should, however, in this, try and manage our mood swings. There are those bad days, yes, when you wake up, you feel sluggish, you don't want to talk to anyone, you don't want anything. But can you manage your mood swings, for heaven's sake? Because you are not living alone. Those mood swings, they are the ones that you'll displace them to your children. You start shouting at their children for no apparent reason. You shout for the house managers, maybe those that they have. No, she wonders, kwani mdosi ameamka aje leo? Hmm? And your husband, the spouses, especially the men spouses, take a toll on this. And then you start now complaining. So let's manage our mood swings, our irritability, and anxiety. Anxiety ni what will happen? What will people say about me? How do I look? What will all those anxieties? They are usually taken care by managing the estrogen levels. And then sleep problems. At this time, sleep problems, they usually occur, but we have to develop coping mechanisms. Number one, yes, the estrogen levels, they are low, but even you remember at this stage of life, it's when we are stressed. We've not settled, the children are big, we need projects, we need investments, we need better jobs. In the next few years, we are retiring. What are our retirement plans? All those things will make us lack sleep. Then increased osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is weak bones. So that one it goes back to the calcium. Heart risk, high risk of heart diseases. Sasa hapa, it's not only heart diseases but lifestyle diseases. You know, our bodies are aging. Our vessels, they are becoming laxed. Si vile ati they were powerful, blood inagonga hivi. Now blood is flowing sluggishly with ages. Sluggishly, pole pole. Hmm? So, and that's why now we get heart diseases, because when the blood vessels are laxed and they are slow, the heart has to work hard to pump the blood. As a result, we get hypertension. As a result, we get heart diseases. So it's our responsibility, and all these heart diseases, we go back to our diet. Yeah. Possible urinary incontinence. Hapa, it's funny. Kuna kitu inaitwa stress incontinence. Ukikohoa, what happens? You know. Ukitapika, what happens? You know. So that one, you know, the genitalia, let me call it the genitalia, it's part of the reproductive health. And you know, our genitalia, our urethra, it's next to our vagina. So that proximity, so when you're getting old, there are those sphincters zinaitwa ni kama tumilango twa urethra si iko hapa. So when you are getting old, they become relaxed. So when you cough, you're pushing, opens. You understand? So it's now it goes back to our health, how we maintain. Mm. The urine comes out. Eh. Mm. Yeah. And you want now that's where you're coming from. And it's our responsibility as the women to maintain good hygiene down there. How do we maintain good hygiene with all these things? Huh? Number one, we can visit the doctor when we have such an issue, if it has become unbearable. There are so many gynecologists. Maybe even I can refer you to some. Number two, when this happens, okay, in a day-to-day errands, tuseme leo unajua uko na homa. There's so many things on the market. You can use a panty liner. But this panty liner, si ya kukaa nayo the whole day. You know, there are people who can use a panty liner for a whole day. But and nowadays, I don't know which reproductive woman nowadays doesn't use a panty liner. It's very, very important, a panty liner. Especially after menses or before menses. And when you know, like, traveling, you know yourself, you know our women issues. So this panty liner should be changed at most after 4 hours. At most. If it doesn't happen, you know, the proximity between the urethra and the vagina is so close. So germs zinatoka hapa kwa urethra zinaingia kwa vagina. At the end of the day, kujikuna. And then the discharge changes color and the smell. So what comes in your mind? It is the hygiene of women. And also, our vagina is still close to our rectum. Rectum ni huko nyuma, the anus. So when you're going to the latrine, there is no at any point that the tissue that you're using at the anus should come into contact with the vagina. So the best method is from forward, and it does not only apply to the women, even to the baby girls that you're bringing up at home. That's something that they should be knowing as early as 5 years. Because urinary tract infections, they are so aggressive. And they uses a lot of resources for them ziponing. Once there was a case of a child, baby girl, who was 6 years, who had urinary tract infection. Just because, you know, we leave our children with the house managers. We don't educate them. We assume they know. At the end of the day, unapata mtoto wako anapanguzwaje? From the anus, hiyo pupu yote inaletwa to the vagina, to the urethra. Then what happens after 2 days? mtoto ni low abdominal pains, mom naumwa na tumbo, fevers haziishi, then we go to the hospital. Treating urinary tract infection for a baby girl is very, very expensive, and it's aggressive. Haiendi haraka. It's very aggressive. So that's it. And when we are cleaning ourselves, tukioga, book says that you should not use soap down there. But for me, we should clean ourselves in 4 main methods. So that bathing towel that you're having, and then I should think that you should be having 2 bathing towels for every woman. One for the face, and one for the face and the neck, the upper part of the neck, and the other one for the other part of the body. So when you're cleaning, we call it 1%. You don't have to keep on, because tushaelewa. When you're cleaning the 1%, you're supposed to start with the outermost. Downward what? Method. Downward method. Remember? Downward method. Then the innermost labia. Innermost. And then the center. That's how it's supposed to clean ourselves, to prevent ourselves from getting infections. That's why you won't get that mujikuno uko chini every time you have it. But it's consistent. Then we should consult the doctor, and we consult the doctor with our spouses. Yeah. And then changes in cholesterol levels. Of cleaning, okay. Okay, so the woman reproductive area, we have they are called labia majora. Majora is I don't know what I can call it. Majora, the inje sana kabisa. Yeah, that line, you clean it with a bathing towel from upward downward. Then this other side, upward and downward. You rinse the bathing towel. Then you clean the innermost. Upward, downward. Even to the children. You know, many house girls don't attend to the 1%. Mshai realize hivyo? And how do you clean your children? The girls, they should use, they sleep, they put their legs apart, you clean them as a mother. How it is supposed to be. Otherwise, ukienda job 2-3 days, the day that you're bathing your child, you get the innermost has accumulated so much dirt and it's smelling. So that one can also lead to infection, because bacteria, they like multiplying somewhere where there is warmth. Azipende baridi. So, and then the 5th stroke, it's the katikati. Now you clean. Yeah, that's the way to clean it. Changes in cholesterol levels, that one we've addressed it. High accumulation of cholesterol levels on the blood vessels impedes the circulation of the blood, and that's it. Next slide. So we've entered into menopause. Tuko sasa menopause. Sasa it's how to take care of menopause time, postmenopausal wellness. Exercises. Aim for regular physical activity to get about 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. 150 minutes, they are few. And exercises, you don't have to enroll the gym. That is number 1. Number 2, you don't have to buy those mats for yoga and you put them in your table room or in your gymnastic room. Exercise, even taking a walk in the evening for like 20 to 30 minutes, it's enough. It can work miracles. Exercise makes you even think. You think about life. It makes you fresh. It's a changeover for your time. Incorporate different types of exercises, include weight bearing, walking, dancing, gardening, for those who have shambas. Yeah. And maintain, it maintains the bone mass and the muscle. It makes you have strength. Then be mindful of safety. Sasa here there is a challenge. Most of us are building mansions kwenye tunaenda kulala huko juu, bedroom they are upstairs. Kupanda ni shida. And when you are strategizing that building, you never thought you can put a bedroom ensuite chini, so that when you get old, uhamie huko chini. Everything is upstairs. So hiyo magoti, haha, kupanda, unashikilia tu. Huh? You can't panda. So it's advisable. And that's why many of the people, the women postmenopausal that we are getting in our theaters, they've broken down when either going upstairs or coming downstairs in the home. Those are the fractures we have. See accident, upstairs or downstairs, ankles, hapa na mikono. Upstairs manenos because of menopause. And then now that's why you find so many women at this age, they are enrolling in gym so that they can strengthen their bones and have muscle, bone, and to build that bone mass. Next. Estrogen, yeah. Nowadays, if you see a gynecologist, there are tablets that are being provided that are in the market for boosting the estrogen levels, for boosting the vitamin Ds. But you see, not everyone who can afford. Now that's where the line cuts across. But for people who can afford and who have covers like insurance, they can easily get them and they are in the market. Even there are even substances like this omega-3. There is another drug that was being used that can balance both hormones. Yeah. So the diet for a menopausal woman is still what we talked about. Focus on a balanced diet, ensure adequate calcium and vitamin D, and then limit certain items. What I said, coffee, processed food, and stay hydrated. So the most important thing during menopause, hydration also helps in vaginal moistness to prevent the vagina from drying. Because during this time, the vagina becomes dry. Yeah. Next. I'm almost coming to a closure. So, other wellness practices for reproductive women is to prioritize sleep. Sleep is very important. Ideally, we should sleep 8 hours in a day, but most of us sleep how many hours? 4 to 5, wengine 3, with all these responsibilities in life. Huh? Yeah, others sleep 2 hours. Hmm. No, 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 no. We should sleep 8 hours a day. Yeah, at night. Yeah. Mm. Mm. So, some of the effects of lack of enough sleep, number one is weight gain. Yes. If you don't sleep enough, you gain a lot of weight. Yeah. You're not stable psychologically. Just picture a day that you didn't sleep for enough time and you work and you wake up in the morning to go at work. You won't perform. You're not performing, you're irritable, you keep telling everyone sikulala vizuri, sikulala jana. Hmm? Yeah, you develop some migraines. So we should have a good sleep in a cool, dark, quiet environment to improve mood and energy levels. Yes.
So much in us, you think that most of us you will find you better stay awake. Ndio uoneshane ni kama you are active, you are working hard, because the society is bringing a thing in us. How even our unawezaje lala masaa manane, and yet you want to do this, you want to be successful, and so we stress ourselves. You are like now if I look at my phone, naona hata naonesha my friend here 5 hours most of the time, because I'm in class, I'm doing this, I want to do a lot of things that make me feel like, hey, I'm doing something. Yet during the day there's no time for that. Only at night you can sleep. So I think the society is even, I don't know, messing around with us.
Yeah, I understand the society is taking a toll on us and we have so many responsibilities. But sleep is a form of self care. Hmm? It's a form of self care. So it's not, let me tell you, you don't take any offense. Like that day, you don't want to wake up in your bed, you just want to sleep. Never feel guilty. Never feel guilty because at the end of the day, you are the one who is going to do all these things. As long as you plan yourself. For me, I find sleep very important, and sleep is a way of healing. I don't know whether it's me or it's everyone. Like when I'm stressed, I have so many things to do, I just sleep. You sleep, I can even sleep the whole day. Because the moment you wake up, all those things, you're the one who will be able to tackle them. They are always waiting for you. But I find sleep as a form of health care pattern. So it's very good. At least let's try and have a quality sleep every day as women, because you can't compare our responsibilities with the men. We have children, we have to manage our homes, we have to manage our church activities, we have to manage the husbands eh? And the children, we have even to manage the community, and the society at large is looking at you. So let's not even look that a day that will tutaanguka na ma responsibilities because we never slept. Yeah, yes, please. Mm.
Especially for us women. And there is this thing I don't know whether I posted it on OCK. It was going around, it was saying like this: before you break your back because of those people you are taking care of, ask yourself, how many will be ready to push your wheelchair? We are breaking ourselves because of our children. There is a time even I was very mad with my son, just last month. And I told him, if I knew that this is how you are going to be treating me when I'm old, aki singefanya kazi nikule. Kwa sababu na nilikuwa nimeona hiyo kitu. You are breaking your body because of your children. Will they break their back when pushing your wheelchair? Nilikuwa tu nataka tu kuadd on that.
I think also, let me stand.
Yeah.
I think also for what I've seen work, and I'm trying to put that into practice. Nowadays, there is nothing like work-life balance. It's work-life integration. You need to integrate those two things. And I've seen as a woman, you need to have your non-negotiables. Like, I must do this every day. You must have your non-negotiables that come shine, come rain, these are my non-negotiables. If you love working out, I must work out. If you want to pray, not if you want, that is not a want, you should. You must, and this is the game changer. Women, let's be early risers. If you can wake up at 4, wake up at 4. By the time the rest of the household is waking up at 6, you have gotten your 2 hours. Either you've worked out, you've prayed, now you can handle all the other things. But if you wake up with the chaos, you're waking up with the children, the bus is hooting, the husband needs his lunch packed. Where is my sijui? I tell you, by the time it's evening, you're trying to catch up with so many things, you're already tired. But waking up very early is a game changer.
Yeah.
Just train yourself to wake up early. By the time it's 4 p.m., you're done. Ni sasa ni kukaka. Thank you.
Yeah. Huh. So the next bullet is stay socially active. So this comes to the women who are introverts. No, most of us are introverts. Let me not say most of us. A better percentage is introverts. Don't want friends. You want to keep on your own. You don't want to share your problems. So friends are everything. Of course, when you're choosing friends, you should choose friends that are bringing positive impact in your life. So stay connected with friends that are helpful, community groups which can positively impact the overall well-being, not those friends that are ruining your life. Do not smoke. Quitting smoke significantly reduces health risks and lessens symptoms. So yeah, I think we are clean. Then stay proactive with health screenings. Continue with regular checkups, mammograms. Has anyone gone for a mammogram this year? No. Pap smear. Pap smear. Pap smear. We should. I don't know what to say. When I think about the health conditions that women are going through, I feel like I can become emotional because we don't take care of ourselves. We don't go for checkups. We assume. You can be having a small lump in your breast. And because it's not painful, you just stay with it. Little do you know the kind of damage it's doing to your body. The same case, pap smear. Pap smear is very important. You know, pap smear prevents so many cancers and diseases. It does not only diagnose cancers, but also diseases. Cancers that are related to the reproductive system, the cervix. You don't want to see a patient who has cancer of the cervix. You don't want. So I'm urging all of us. Every 5 years, let's go for a pap smear. In Kenyatta, it's very affordable. I think late last year, I was done with in fact, I was never done to our facility. I went to Kenyatta, and it's pretty affordable. So let's engage that. Let's embrace those things. For it's good even to go when you have an issue, a health issue related to a woman. Obviously, maybe in this Kiambu, you have a neighbor who is a health work personnel. You can always ask. And you know, asking, it's never taken an offense. You get a lot of knowledge from asking. And you know now, like now here, if I came and sit down, you can't know the kind of knowledge I have. So you might be suffering and you know that person can help you. Especially women, we should be taking care of ourselves because the society is looking at us at a whole. And we have a great impact in our society. We are the pillars. But when we are wounded or when we are not feeling well, it takes a toll. Just like the way, okay, I have a testimony like, I want to show you how a woman is important in a family. Like this day when my mom became sick, we really toiled as siblings to take care of her, and finally she passed on. It has never been the same again. It has never been the same again. So let's take care of our health issues. I wouldn't say that when you get sick, you're not taking care of ourselves, But you see, sometimes diseases are fate. It happens. It can be running in our families. It can be caused by other maybe medications that we are taking. But it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves. And it's our responsibility to not neglect ourselves. Like hata saa ile unajua you're not okay. Me, I just hold myself high nasema I'm okay. Because in this world we must keep our hands high. Even when like now the finances are not financing. Hmm? Yeah, they are not. Everyone, I wouldn't say there is not even the professors or the surgeons. They are where they want to be. We are all struggling. Like the madam naona kona chupa ya NCBA. I'm sure maybe you work in a bank. Huh? I would ask so many financial questions. Why the finances are like that right now? Huh? Huh? We should help ourselves high. Hata kama umekula ugali na skuma, sema niko poa. And you know our children are all looking at us. So when usipojipea nguvu, you stay goi. Aye, my friend, your family will fall. And then number 2, all what I've embraced in life is about prayers. Yeah, prayers are very important. Like when our God is our giver, is our provider, He knows our core. He knows like when we ask Him anything, and He's the healer. You might not be having you might have come to umefika mwisho, like you don't see the light, but in the morning the sunlight comes. Wanasemanga it dawns. Morning will come, sunlight will come. That one meaning happiness will come again. So as women, let's not be intimidated. We are strong, we are independent, we have strength, we are empowered. Nowadays the human rights, the government has empowered the women. Women, we have it all. We should hold ourselves high, and we should be able to be the conquerors in the community. Next slide. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ask something. I think, like most of women, I have heard some people saying, you know, I give an example with myself. There's in a year, there's a medical checkup you usually go, and it is have been paid. Everything have been paid. And I remember, is it the beginning of this year? Yes. And that medical checkup, everything was catered for. And then we went for that medical checkup. Everything was done, and everything was okay. But the part of pap smear, the doctor told me, now we have done all this. Now I want to go back. I want you to do the pap smear. And the fear, what if? You see, that is a fear most of the women have. Huh? What if it is done, daktari apate? What will happen to me? And I remember the doctor stayed with me for like 30 minutes telling me, I told him, I have never done it, and I don't think I'm ready to do it. That fear. And by the way, I didn't go back. Mwaka imeisha. Hiyo kitu sasa not unless ni go the checkup, the other, sasa next year, your medical checkup ikuje. I did not go because of the fear. And the other fear is, I've had like 2 to 3 friends saying, pap smear, when you have the coil, the kind of thing you told me, after I went to pap smear, nika conceive. Is it possible? Ati, sijui ni nini hili happen, sijui kama ni daktari hakufanya vizuri, then ati, immediately after, mind you, I use it. And then uniambie niende. I am not ready to. So are those real? Are those the fears? Huh? Are these real? Ama ni vitu tu watu fictions. Can you tell us more? Because some of us have those opportunities we are given, but because of the fear, we are like, I will not try it.
So pap smear is a procedure whereby the doctor or the healthcare personnel uses a pap smear kit. A pap smear kit has slides kama kakioo kadogo, tukio kidogo, and a brush. That ka brush is, I don't know, it's as soft as what? It's very soft. Not even like a toothbrush. It's way softer than a toothbrush. Now, the fears of pap smear among the clients, number one, is the outcome. So before the client goes for the pap smear, he or she should be told what it's expected and the outcome. I've told you the pap smear, it's not only for diagnosing cancer of the cervix. During that procedure, we get to appreciate the healthiness of the vagina. That is number one. Number two, we get to appreciate the location of your cervix. Number three, if your cervix is healthy. You know, you cannot be having cancer, but your cervix is not healthy. It maybe has an inflammation, or there are some discharges that are coming out that are not normal. That is what is usually checked. And then the brush, it's very soft, and then it just picks the mucus that is at the cervix, and we are done. We don't open the cervix. So huyo mwenye alisema ameconceive, I don't know. We don't even touch the cervix. We just brush.
Oh, I had an experience. I went for pap smear in Nairobi Women, and I've never gone back again for a pap smear. Why? What are you, the kit? The kit.
There is the speculum that, you know,
One.
I know the problem.
So, one, I was afraid at the beginning to approach it, like my sister is saying. But we had decided in the family everybody is going for cancer checkup. So I could not ignore the call from my daughters. So I went, and then here I am, I'm afraid. Then at the end of the process, I see the kid has come out with some blood. And I was like, so I'm sick. So I have the cancer. And actually, let me tell you, I wondered, na hiyo blood imetoka wapi? So me, I said, never again, whether I have it or I don't have it, let me die, because now, without let me now die, because I don't know where this blood is coming from.
I can explain. So when you're going for the pap smear procedure, you know your vagina is not ready for that procedure, and you use something called speculum. So your speculum, it's as wide as this thing. So we must open it completely so that we can have access to the cervix. And you know it's like a distance. So that process of opening it, maybe you are bruised. But in our case, we usually apply some lubricants so that you don't hurt the client. Maybe in that setting, there was not that. So maybe you were bruised. That's why you saw that spot of blood. But that's the ideal. Because you see, naturally the vagina is collapsed. We must open so that we can see. And that procedure, even me, I was not comfortable because of the opening of the that 1%. It's very uncomfortable. But we are women. We still need it. And if at all we've given birth via the same way, speculum shouldn't be making you worried. And then the moment you're out of there, you are okay, and you wait for the results. How I wish we could embrace that procedure. just for our well-being.
Do other things. I think now the fear, even the fear that I had, because it was portrayed like you only go there to be screened for cancer. You know, you feel like I don't want to. What if they find something? Does it mean I have a cancer? But now we at least you have made it so wide. There are other things that you'll be checked, you know about it, and that is okay. Thank you. I will go.
Yeah, it's good to go. And then I want also to address the point of that the client who conceived after the pap smear. Every family planning has a failure method, and which is usually a very low percentage. And then I don't think it could have happened because the IUCD, the strings are usually tucked in outside the cervix. You see, outside the cervix, between the vagina and the cervix, there is like a sleeve. So we usually tuck in the strings there. So I don't think that could have made it. Yeah. If it has raised no sensitive issue after 5 years, but if it has raised 2 years, yeah. And
I have a question that all these things that you've learned about adjusting our health, the way we do things, the meals and everything, should it just affect women? Ama the same should be practiced by our men? I had that concern.
hello, most of the men don't go into menopause. Most of men don't go into menopause. And then menopause hits women worse. Because you know, there are reproductive issues. During menopause, you can't be fertile. But men, even when you are 99 years, you're fertile. Hmm? You're still fertile and active. So most, yeah, you're fertile. Yes, a man. Yeah, a man. No, but as women, we are infertile. Actually, from 55 years. So menopause takes a toll more on men than on women than men, and it really affects our health when you get into menopause than men. Men, 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 men. They are taken care of, I think, by God, but we are more stronger than them. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, I have
But
a question.
okay, before, but health, about the health, now when it comes to men, they get more lifestyle diseases than us. Because now they're really not so much into health. That's when you'll get so men have prostate of the cancer, diabetes, hypertension, all those things. Men have more lifestyle diseases than women. Yeah. Mm. The diet. Yes, because you know, vessels come up, blood vessels, they're affecting both men and women. If it's stored in our bones, their calciums are going down also. It's affecting men and women. So the diet that you're feeding at your age, you should also feed your spouse with it. Yeah. And now you know them, they should be able to be more careful with their health because they tend to have so much hypertension, diabetes, even as early as 35. They have kidney failure. Men have more lifestyle diseases than women. Yeah, because I think they tend to ignore the health bit, or maybe it's not fully addressed in the community and in the society. And you know now, most of the people they are concentrating on the girl child. They forget about the boy child. So the boy child is neglected and doesn't have the information. You know, lack of information takes a toll a lot in our lives. Yeah. Okay, the boy child, yes, they should maintain good hygiene. But you know now their urethra is longer than ours. So their tendency to get diseases is kidogo. And then you know, urine yenyewe is sterile, doesn't have nini germs. So what we read in the books, as the boy is urinating, he's cleansing his system. So what you maybe you would advocate is maybe now they take more those hydration, those things, but their system is well taken care of. But it becomes a concern when they become men of reproductive age, because now their organs they harbor more transmitted diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. They harbor more. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, they harbor more means when it comes to the reproductive age, you see their penis, it becomes the multiplication site for the bacteria. So they can transmit the sexually transmitted diseases to so many ladies. Yeah. Unlike us. Yeah, women are more vulnerable than men. Yeah.
Okay, a question. On the menopause issue, the signs that come with menopause, ca- does every woman manifest, or maybe you get like this
Different.
particular woman gets this and the other one gets this, like hot flashes, those mood swings and all that? Do you get all of them, or people manifest differently?
I'd say people, we know we are all different. People vary differently. The symptoms range from one woman to another. We can't be the same. Some may experience night sweats, others may experience hot flashes, others may experience mood swings. But it comes unknowingly. By the time you realize, maybe hii ni menopause inanisumbua. Yeah, they vary among different women. Can't be the same.
Okay, I have a question. Number one, I want to ask about hii mambo ya acid. Unajipata before you ufike menopause unaweza kula kila kitu, haikusumbui na acid. Sometimes unafika age unasema hata siwezi nikafast, nikifast naumwa na hapa. Siwezi nikakula duma napata kiungulia. Hiyo inakuanga na mambo na menopause ama. That is one. And the other one is nilisikia but just somebody talking. Akasema ilikuwa on TV. Nowadays kuna a lot of dementia. Watu wanagojeka. And then that person was saying most of it inaletwa na these untreated UTIs. Is it true? Yeah, UTIs. Urinary tract.
Let me first address about the hypergastric reflux, hiyo acidity kupanda. So it just come back to the aging process. So when you're aging, still at the gullet, kwa food pipe, kwenye food inamezekea, there are some gates, I would say ni gates, that when you eat, they zinafungana so that the food can go to the stomach, digested there, and then to the intestines. But this time, the gates are relaxed. So every time you eat, and that's why I said you should not eat after 10. And every time you eat, now, yeah, every time you eat now, the reflux happens because do you know food digestion starts from the mouth. Ukikula ndio food inadigestika. And that's why we are advised you chew your food to the maximum before swallowing, because digestion starts in the mouth. Then along the food pipe, there are still more, what should I say, substances that are being produced, acids that are being produced to digest that food before it gets to the abdomen. Now, with the relaxed sphincters or those two gates, their food tends to come back. And that's now we start modifying our lifestyle. We modify our lifestyle, we prevent those food that are bringing gastric reflux. We modify our sleeping patterns. There is a way we can sleep that will prevent the food from coming back, all those things. Number two, about the delirium and dementia. There's a point I said that menopause makes us start forgetting. That is called amnesia. And we start brain loss. Yeah. So, accumulatively with age, we get dementia. Dementia is brain loss and deliriums. Inaitwa dementia and deliriums. It's brain loss. But that one, it's not caused by the UTI, upper respiratory tract infection. Upper respiratory tract infection is the lungs and the chest. It's not caused by that. That is pure brain. That is why I was encouraging you, we should eat fish, omena, fish oils, avocado, those fatty things that will boost our brain and our cognitive thinking. Yeah. Gastric reflux. We sleep like in we put two pillows. If you use one pillow, you can use another pillow so that now your chest is inclined, like the way you'll make sure your food is not coming back. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I ask one more, please?
Yes.
Before we continue.
Yeah.
And this is about the blood group.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a friend, a lady, who is it Resa negative?
Rhesus negative.
Yes. And I think she has even conceived thrice, but had miscarriages, all of them. And there is this, she didn't know. In fact, I'm the one most, because the consistency of miscarriage, I told her, just go and check, because I've had it. And now my question is, when you conceive, they say this, you should take the anti-Ds. Yeah? When should be the anti-Ds? When should you take them? Is it before you conceive, when you are planning, after? And when after how long? And then what happens?
So, for a rhesus negative woman who is pregnant, the anti-D injection is usually given to prevent the antibodies from the woman reacting with the antibodies of the child, hence, which leads to miscarriage or the loss of the baby. So this one should be given in the first trimester. First trimester is the first 3 months, and it should be given in a health facility. And probably the mother should be seeing a gynecologist. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, because you have really explained us about premenopause and also menopause, can you talk more about the sexual part of it? Because I normally hear, I'm a woman and I deal with so many church women, and those are the questions that in most cases we normally face. That me at this time, even I don't have the urge for it, and we are just there. Are there those changes because of these changes that are occurring in a woman, or does it affect our sex drive? And how do we go about it?
I answer that one first.
Yeah.
Okay. Sex life among the menopausal women, it's a challenge because, our sex drive is usually driven by the estrogen levels in our body. So when the estrogen levels are low, we don't have the sex drive and we don't have the urge of sex. And remember, during this time, our vaginas are drying up. So it becomes a challenge. Like when you have a dry vagina, how will you have sex with your spouse? It is a challenge. So to address this issue, that's why we are going back on hormonal therapy. Hormonal therapy can be supplements from the gynecologist that we find in the market that have both progesterone and estrogen levels to balance the hormonal levels in our body. Number two, remember there are other drugs that can be able to boost the work of the ovary. We said the work of the ovary is to produce estrogen. There are such things. And then number three, we have the food supplements. We said that in our daily life, the legumes, they are rich in estrogen. They'll also help us boost the estrogen. And then there is also the psychology. You know, to a woman, sex is more psychological than emotional. Is it true? We should be psychologically prepared. For a man, sex is emotional, like it's emotional for a man. It's neither here or there. But for a woman, it has a lot of psychological attachment in our lives. And for it to happen, we should be psychologically prepared for it because it's our responsibility and it's a basic need in our lives. And then, number four, there are substances that are called lubricants. For that woman whose vagina is dry and still has to be obliged to this responsibility, there are lubricants. They're in the market. Some are called KY jelly. There are so many. And they can be used during the act. Yes.
All right. The second question, I've always heard people talk about our feeding and our blood groups. Is it medically or what do I say? Is that true? Should we eat according to our blood groups?
Hey, that one I've never heard about it in my life.
Okay.
About feeding according to our blood groups. All what I know is that we should be feeding healthy. What I know, our blood groups is the blood group of our spouse is determined, has a correlation with our children. That's why many men usually want to go for a DNA because his blood group will match the blood group of their son or daughter. If it's different, you know, that is not your son or daughter. That's all what I know. And then about the blood groups, different blood groups can give different blood groups. There are those that can't give. Like the SS negative must be given to donated or rather or received by RSS negative. Yeah.
Fine. So there is nothing like a blood group. Oh, positive should not eat meat. And
I've
they
not
should
heard
not-
about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But maybe I can research about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can research about it.
Okay.
Yeah. When to see a doctor. Consult a professional to talk to a healthcare provider about any symptoms or changes that concern you, as they could be related to more than just menopause. And then discuss medical options. Your doctor can help you create a treatment plan, which may include prescription medication or discuss the risks and benefits of options like hormonal replacement therapy. And then seek for sexual health. If you experience vaginal dryness or discomfort during sex, your doctor can recommend you lubricants and other treatments like vaginal estrogen. Nowadays, medications, kunazo oral via the mouth, injectables, under the tongue, per vaginal. The medicine has diversified. Yeah.
is to all of us as women is we keep contacting our gyna.
My advice would be, if you are uncomfortable with the symptom, please consult a medical. There are other settings that you can be able to get a gynecologist, but you consult a medical health practitioner. Yeah. If you feel you're uncomfortable, all the symptoms are overwhelming. Yeah. So before I close, I have two questions here. One problem is infertility of a man. Um, you know, as we are married women, infertility of men is so much ignored in this community in Kenya. I don't know about those other countries. The moment maybe a married woman is not giving birth, the blame is being blamed on the woman, not the man. But there are doctors who are there who see men who are who have infertility issues. The problem is the men we have in our society, they don't accept it. They don't accept and they don't embrace. As women, we've accepted, we've embraced, and we've taken the steps to do implementation that can help us have children in other ways, but men have not embraced it. So to cover this question, there are doctors that are called urologists. These doctors, they deal with the reproductive system of the men, and they are efficient. And there are some drugs, some of the infertility issues that face men are low sperm count, no sperm count. It's called oligospermia. And those are the basic things. Maybe through the system, there are some strictures that are not delivering the sperms to the woman. Those are some of the things. There are medications that are used to be given by the men so that they can boost the sperm count. And then there are also procedures that are usually done to make the way patent for the men to be able to be fertile. Then there is a question like, there is a woman who has been removed the womb or the uterus. Another name for the womb is uterus. Can they have babies? No, they can't have babies, because where will the baby be fertilized? Where will the baby, the womb is the house of the baby in our abdomens. So the moment your uterus is removed, there is no way you can have babies. The uterus can be removed due to medical issues among women of reproductive age. But there are other ways of having babies. Like in my practice, I've seen a surrogate woman. The ovaries are harvested from the woman who doesn't have the uterus. And the husband, the sperms are harvested from the husband. And then we get a lady. They are implanted in a health facility. And the lady carries the baby up to term. But when the baby is given birth, the couple now picks the baby. It's an expensive affair, and but I've seen it work. Yeah. The procedure for harvesting alone and implanting could be going for $1 million. And then you see this lady, you must pay her, the surrogate woman, and now there is the medical fee and all the visits, antenatal visits. So it's expensive. But babies are expensive. Yeah, we have to appreciate babies are expensive and they come from far. Yeah. Yeah, around 3M could work. Yeah. The harvesting, the conception, the giving birth up to your time that you're out of the hospital. Yeah. Now, let's say we have the donor banks. Let's say we have the sperm banks and the ovary banks. So during harvesting, they don't harvest one ovary or one sperm. They harvest a number. And then they are kept in a bank. Upper Hill, there are so many fertilization facilities. So when it fails, which is rare for a healthy lady, it's rare. They go back to the bank. The sperms and the ovaries are usually stored in negative degrees, sterilized kabisa fridge. So they are taken again and then we reimplant. Yeah. Now it depends if you have identified a surrogate mother na may agree and she has undergone. You know, it's not simple carrying a pregnancy and then kupeana mtoto. So she must have undergone counseling. You tell her immediately you give birth, you will not see this baby, it's our baby. So by the time, mostly we advocate for cesarean section because after we have removed the baby, the parents are waiting at the barrier, we give the parents the baby, and then the baby is admitted in nursery. Now the mother, the surrogate mother, goes in another ward, not a maternity. Yes. No. There is no way you can carry a baby. Now, there is no other way of incubating the sperm and the ovary until the baby is formed. No. That's why you are looking for a surrogate mother. Yeah. Mm. So I'd wish to close it at this time. Anyone with a question? Okay, thanks a lot, everyone, for giving me this chance to address this situation of women wellness. It's my passion. Serving the community and the society at large. Thanks a lot, Pastor Mercy. Pleasure meeting you. Thanks a lot, everyone, for participating actively. I really like your active participation, and I look forward to coming back. God bless you all. Yeah.
Tupige 10 ama I'm sorry. Happy yule wa 5 factorials tumpatie, si ni kweli? Si ni kweli? Mumeenjoy? Na kama hukuja, you would have missed answers to your own life. We started by saying knowledge is power, isn't it? Do you feel like you are knowledgeable now? Do you feel like you can help another woman? Can you be called for a seminar somewhere and you give a lecture? Yes. Can you answer some of the common problems with the ladies? Yes. And therefore, madam, you have not told us anything about which is this fibroids. Yeah, we have not touched that one. Maybe we can give her 1 minute. Yes, because that's an area which is very, very common. Just come, Caro. I call you Caro. I like Caro more than Charity.
No problem. Fibroids is a major issue among women of reproductive age. And most of nowadays, you're getting fibroids as early as 23 years. Children, well, or rather, what do I call them? Girls who have fibroids. Some of the causes of the fibroids is heredity. It runs in the family. If maybe your great grandmother, your mother had fibroids, most likely, but it's not guaranteed, you may have fibroids. Number two, most of the women, we are getting late looking for Mr. Right. We are looking for tall, dark, handsome, and with money, huh? With big cars. So in that process of looking for the Mr. Right, we don't get pregnant. We hit 30, we don't have babies. So what happens to this uterus that every month is preparing to get pregnant from 18 years? We start growing fibroids. And then fibroids, they grow different parts of the uterus. There are fibroids that grow outside the uterus, in between the lines, and inside the cavity of the uterus. And others, they grow outside the uterus. Like when you're doing that speculum, that pap smear, you can meet a fibroid that is there attached to the cervix. Imetoka ndani kwa uterus. So it's a major issue. And how to manage fibroids? Number one, even as women that we have ladies or other girls that have finished school, college, and they are working, we should advise them to get their children early so that we can prevent them from getting fibroids. Actually, from 35 years, when you're giving birth as a firstborn, your firstborn at 35 years, we are already calling you a mother at risk. Yes, you're way too old when you're getting your firstborn at 35 years. Ideal age from mid 20s, the ladies should start getting children. So many of the ladies that are getting with fibroids, they are between 28 and 35 because they don't want to get married, they don't want to get responsibilities, they've not gotten the right spouse to stay with them in their lives, or it runs in the family. How to manage fibroids? It can be managed by hormones. By there is a medication that they can be prescribed to make the fibroids shrink. They can shrink, and then the doctor tells you, you have 3 months, you get pregnant. What if you don't have someone to get you pregnant? So fibroids after 3 months zinaendelea kumea. They usually look like, I wish I had a picture. They usually look like, we call them gouache. Yeah, they usually look like gouache. And when they are hard substances, like they can't even allow you to get pregnant when they are in the uterus. Because when you get pregnant, the uterus becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. But these fibroids, they make the uterus not to become big. At the end of the day, you get a miscarriage. So you might get miscarriages every now and then, but you don't know what's happening to your abdomen. And many people don't know, ama ni poti tu, ama ni uterus iko na fibroids. Like now for medical personnel, they can know, like my tummy is very hard here down. Maybe I could be having fibroids. But for a layman, they won't know. And then number two, they can be removed via surgical. We remove all of them. Then within 3 months, the lady should get pregnant to prevent them from growing back because they tend to come back. Those are the two methods. If it's bad, there are some fibroids that can be removed in the uterus. They've occupied the 90% of the uterus. We remove the uterus. Yes. With them, whether you have a baby or not. Because that procedure for removing the fibroids is usually very risky and the patient bleeds. The patient even bleeds more than the way you could bleed when you are being removed the uterus. So the way forward about management of fibroids or prevention of fibroids among women of reproductive age is to get babies early. As long as you have the capability to get one and you're of the right age. Yeah.
What I've noted, in most cases, even women who have already gotten children and maybe you got your babies from the age of 20 up to early 30s. Then from thereafter, then you find more oftenly, mostly they develop fibroids. What happens? Is it not guaranteed that when you get babies that you are done away with these things?
Okay. Now, the mechanism is just the same. You see, like maybe I've acquired the right number of children that I want in my family. I'm not giving birth again, isn't it? But every day I'm having menses. Menses is what? When having menses, your womb had prepared for you to conceive, but you didn't conceive. If this happens for a number of years, fibroids can occur, especially if now in your lineage of family there is that tendency. They can occur. But even if they occur after that time, I think it's no more than occurring when you've not given birth. Because I usually find when they occur when you've not given birth, they are more aggressive than when you've already given birth. Now, when they occur after you've given birth, the reason why that mother can come to the hospital is because of bleeding. A lot of bleeding. It's called menorrhagia. That's the reason why they come to the hospital for treatment or for the removal of the fibroids. So you never know about diseases. Sometimes it's fate.
I had somebody advise other ladies that if you know that you will get such kind of things, when you have the babies that you won't remove the entire, is it advisable?
No, it's not advisable. It's not advisable. It's important to remove any organ of your body when it's bringing ill health in your body. But you can't do it just for the sake. Because even those women that are coming for the removal of uterus, those doctors must make us understand, why are we removing this uterus? What is the indication? Yeah, because it's not a kawaida thing. Yeah, so it should not be a routine. It shouldn't be like a routine, like it's supposed to be like that. No, not unless it has an ill effect in your health or in your body. There are some people who stay with those fibroids as long as they are not bringing any negative impact in your health system.
But I heard them say that when you remove such, you remain young. That's what I heard from the streets.
When you remove fibroids,
Yeah, when you remove the uterus, you
no.
remove it and you are good to go. You remain young.
Do you know even when you remove the uterus, you will be on medication for a lifetime to maintain your hormones, especially when the ovaries are removed. When we remove the uterus, we come out with the cervix. You will remain on medications to sustain your life, because now your vagina will be dry. When your vagina will get moisturized from where? And it's the cervix. And they are the hormones that are being used. You know, the uterus is the pillar in the woman reproductive system. So when you remove, be sure you will be taking drugs for the rest of your life, which is not easy. There are so many rumors about health issues in the community, but maybe you should, I don't know what you should do about it. Yeah. Very true, very true. Yeah. And lack of knowledge is not ignorance. Yeah, yeah. But you see, even if, imagine after we don't remove the entire tube, we cut kakitu like even 1 centimeter is big, but you still have your ovaries. You know, ovaries are the core things that produce the hormones in the body of a woman. So the tube, it's just closed, like the sperms won't go to the ovaries for fertilization. But your body is healthy and your ovaries are intact and you produce the hormones. It's only that the sperms won't be going to the ovary for fertilization. Yeah. You mean the tubes are blocked, they can't conceive? Oh, okay. Now, there are many reasons why. There are many reasons that causes infertility among women. Some of them is the blocked tubes. Some is fallopian, is the now the fibroids, and the blocked tubes. They are the fallopian tubes. I would say the uterus is like this: is the body of the uterus. This is the first tube, and this other side is the second tube. These are the ovaries. So when the tube is blocked, yes, the sperms will be delivered to the uterus, but when they get here, they won't go to the ovaries for fertilization because they are blocked. So such women, there are procedures that they come to the hospital to unblock those tubes. Number one, the procedure can be done from the vagina up front. It's called hysteroscopy to see if the tubes are blocked. Number two, we can do a procedure from the abdomen. And you see the tubes. We usually introduce a dye, a blue dye from the vagina. If it goes all the way to the ovaries, it means they are not blocked. But if it doesn't go, we don't see the blue in the ovaries, we conclude that the tubes are blocked. To cure these, and when they are blocked, bear in mind that the woman won't be able to conceive. So to cure these, we usually do procedures called tuboplasty. Tuboplasty, we go for surgery with the woman. We introduce the dye from down there. We access it now when you've opened the stomach, and you see where the tube is blocking from. Then when you identify where it's blocking from, now there are different types of instruments that we use to unblock the tube. We can either cut the two sides that are blocked and then we join them together through special gadgets, or we can use special probes to go and unblock it so that we can access it to the ovary. And if it's done and it's not successful, now that's where now we use other methods of conception. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, the causes of blocking of the tube. Number one could be sexually transmitted diseases. Sexually transmitted diseases, maybe you have multiple sexual partners. Those infections, when they get inflamed and they heal, they might heal with scarring and blocking. Kama tu ukiwa na kidonda, the way it heals with a scar. When the tube gets a scar, it gets blocked. Number two, it could be idiopathic. Idiopathic means there is no reason. You know, there are some diseases that happen with no reason. You have no reason about it. Number three, it's the pelvic inflammatory diseases. Pelvic inflammatory diseases, it's when, this one is usually caused by sexual multiple partners. Then there is pus in the pelvis. When that pus in the pelvis affects the tubes, it causes them to block. So the health of the women is very important because we are the one who receives most of the infections. They are introduced to us. So, part in short, it's like we should, us and our partners, we should make sure and remind each other that we are supposed to stay a healthy life. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Charity. Umejitolea kabisa. And we have loved you. Mmempenda? Mmempenda? Akuje tena, si ndio? Na kama kuna kitu kimefanyika kwa hii conference is to have you allowed. I really thank God. Somebody pressed us so much in the meeting until we said